This presentation is for parents of Sunnyside students in 6th grade through 12th grade who are English language learners. In this presentation, we will go over 4 main components: what it means to be an English learner in Arizona, English language development classes that Sunnyside offers, assessments that measure English language proficiency, and how you as a parent can support your child's learning. Our first topic describes Arizona's approach to English language development and what it means to be an English learner in Arizona. When a student registers in Sunnyside for the first time, their parent or guardian is required to complete a home language survey. If there is a language other than English on this form, the state of Arizona requires the district to give the student the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment, AZELA. If they do not score proficient on this test, they qualify for our district's structured English immersion program. Arizona has adopted a language development approach that's main goal is for students to be agents of their learning. We believe that all educators have a shared responsibility for promoting the success of English learners. The 4 principles that surround the core of this approach reflect the research-based components of a comprehensive instructional program for Arizona's EL students. The first guiding principle states that our teachers and schools will recognize and respect the language and culture your child brings to the classroom and build upon this knowledge and identity. SEI programs benefit your student in a number of ways. For example, they're not only learning English words, they're learning about communication styles, they're increasing their ability to think flexibly and with cultural awareness. Learning a second language makes it easier to learn another language. It can help students become more college, career, and community ready. Once your child is identified as an English learner, the school will send a parental notification and consent form home with students. This is to inform you as the parent that your student is enrolled in an ELD program. The state requires parents to sign this form every year to give consent for your child to take these classes. If you would like more information about the program or have questions about student placement, please contact your child's counselor or principal. If you choose to withdraw your child from the SEI program, they are still required to take the yearly AZELA assessment to measure their growth until they test as proficient. The next section will go over SEI models that are available in Sunnyside and how it will impact a student's class schedule. It is important to note that all English learners will have language instruction as well as grade level content instruction and elective classes while enrolled in any SEI program. Sunnyside has 2 SEI models available: the pull-out SEI model and the 2-hour SEI model. Each model has a designated amount of time for targeted and integrated instruction, which we will define on the next few slides. In the pull-out model, English learners receive 50 to 60 minutes of targeted ELD instruction and 50 to 60 minutes of integrated ELD instruction. The remainder of the day is taught in English. In the 2-hour model, English learners receive 100 to 120 minutes of targeted ELD instruction and are integrated into classes with their English-speaking peers for the remainder of the day. Here's how targeted and explicit language instruction is defined. During targeted instruction, students are grouped with other English learners. The teacher and student focus on the domains of language that a language learner needs in order to be considered proficient in English. What students learn during targeted instruction can be applied to other content area classes to support learning. Depending on the SEI model available at each school, students will see 1 or 2 classes that indicate targeted instruction on their schedule, such as ELD 1 English, ELD 2 workshop, or ELD 3 workshop. During integrated instruction, all students in the SEI program will have classes with their English-speaking peers. Students are grouped heterogeneously during integrated instruction. All teachers will use strategies to help your child comprehend and differentiate their lessons to help them succeed in meeting grade level content standards in ELA, math, science, social studies, and elective classes. Sites will determine which subjects are integrated. Research shows that it can take between 3 to 5 years to develop proficiency in a new language. Academic classes like high school English, math, science, and social studies courses demand even higher levels of academic English. There are ways that a student's English proficiency are measured day to day and yearly. Arizona state law requires that your child take the AZELA assessment yearly until they score proficient. A reassessment AZELA test will be given to your child between February and March. When results are available, they will be sent to you. Student progress is also measured throughout the school year. The teacher, in collaboration with your student, is the best source of information on how your child is progressing with their English language proficiency throughout the school year. The AZELA measures a student's English proficiency in 4 levels: pre-emergent, basic, intermediate, and proficient. A proficient score indicates the student has enough English to succeed academically in the mainstream classroom. You will receive a report of your child's AZELA scores once they are made available. This is what an AZELA report looks like. Section A shows us your child's test score and where they took the test. Section B shows test results broken down into different components. The overall test result is in Section C of the report. The section labeled Overall Proficiency Level is your child's final score. Although points are accumulated to determine proficiency levels, when reporting how a student performed on the AZELA, we report what level they scored, not the numerical points. There is more information about how your child scored in the score report. This student scored proficient on the listening portion of the test, but not in reading, writing, or speaking. On the report, there are also additional scores that point out the student's proficiency level on each form of communication that is assessed: receptive, productive, interactive, and language. To demonstrate English proficiency, a student must score intermediate or proficient on all 4 domains: reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and have an overall scale score of at least 1,000. So what happens when a student scores proficient on the AZELA test? The student will no longer qualify for English development classes if they score proficient on the AZELA. They will be given a mainstream schedule of classes, which will be taught in English. The AZELA test was used to determine if they had enough reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills to succeed in the mainstream classroom. For our last section, we will go over some ways that you can support your student as they learn English. The most important thing you can do for your student is to stay involved in their education. Communicate with the school and teachers. Pay attention to AZELA scores and help your student set goals. You can also become familiar with resources that can help you support your child, such as the Arizona English Language Proficiency Standards, which describe what your student should be learning at various levels of English proficiency. The Sunnyside website and Learn page have information on curriculum, grades, school, and family resources, and much more. Sunnyside also offers a high school educational planning guide to assist students in planning their education. It is important to note that an ELL student can learn English and earn enough credits to graduate. Please make sure you meet with your school's counselor to work together and design the best schedule for your child. Thank you for learning more about Sunnyside's English Language Development Program. If you have any questions, please reach out to our Language Acquisition and Literacy Department.